Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your July 2026 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all that. Those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a 12 card spread with each card representing a different house of the zodiac. Starting with your sign, Taurus is the first house, all the way through to Aries representing the 12th. Once we get through all that as well, we'll pull in the Oracle card for some additional insight. As far as the decks being used this month, for the main tarot deck, we have the Guardian of the Night Tarot, and for the Oracle deck, we'll be using the Spirit Animal Oracle. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling some astrology dice to get a feel for where your folks should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Mercury, and it actually makes perfect sense to see this come up. Just primarily, I say that because your third house of communication is Cancer. And on the 29th of June, we're going to have Mercury retrograde in Cancer, and it pretty much won't reach a direct cycle until the 23rd of July. So that is your house of communication, and to have a Mercury retrograde in that house, it could definitely impact you more than most other signs of the zodiac this month. All right, we have 5. So 5th house energy for you guys is Virgo. And as far as what's going to be going on astrologically there, on the 9th of July, we'll have Venus, which is your ruler, moving into Virgo. So that could be a pretty significant transit there too. And then on the 26th of July, we'll actually have the South Node moving out of Virgo as well. So you've had that transit going on for about 18 months. So you could feel a significant shift there as well. And 5th house in general points to romance, creativity, and children. And well, yeah, there we see Virgo again, right? So same story that I just gave you guys for the 5th house, but seeing 2 of these things point to the 5th house shows that could be a pretty significant area of focus for you guys this month for sure. All right, so with that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. Okay, so for your first house, pointing to personality, self-awareness, and appearance, we have the 2 of Cups. So there's the artwork there, and looking at this could just be saying that you might be focused on that type of connection this month, right? So, of course, with the 2 of Cups, we do often tend to think of love connections, but it could just be an overall meeting of the minds as well, right? Especially if you're already involved elsewhere, things along those lines, but that could just be where your focus is this month, trying to reach harmonious connections with people. All right, so for your second house, which points to possession, self-worth, and finances, we have the World. So the World is usually going to be an indicator of growth. Sometimes it's hard-won growth, but definitely significant growth nonetheless. Usually karmic cycles coming to an end, and usually I view this as a North Node energy as well. So that goes back to what we were saying as far as we will have the North Node switching signs toward the end of July. So there could be some significance pointed to that as well. But yeah, this definitely looks like you've gone through some growth, and positive growth more than likely, even like we said, if there were some challenging lessons to help get you to that point. All right, so for your third house of communication, which we already talked about with the Mercury retrograde coming up, but we have the 8 of Wands. So this is a Sagittarius energy here. And usually this points to a lot of movement, rapid movement, usually positive momentum as well. But again, like we said, between seeing the dice point to Mercury energy and the fact that there's a Mercury retrograde in this house, could just be saying that, there might be a lot of movement, right? A lot of communication, but keep in mind that you might need to be a little extra cautious to make sure that you're understanding messages clearly, that in that back and forth exchange, and that others are understanding you clearly as well. All right, so for the 4th house energy, we have the Magician, and 4th house generally points to home, roots, and family. So to see this come up here, it could just be saying that when you're in a home environment, you might feel like you're getting good creative ideas, right? You might feel like you have the ability to tackle whatever challenges might come your way as well. But I feel like more than anything, this is pointing to you feeling a little bit more inventive this month than usual. All right, so like we mentioned with the dice, we saw 5th house could be pretty significant for you guys this month as well. And as far as the card representing the 5th house, we have the Fool. So yeah, so this usually points to a spirit of adventure, maybe taking some risk in certain situations. So to see this come up and seeing that the dice on two different levels were pointing to this energy could definitely be some significance there. And like we said, given that your ruler is moving into that sign as well on the 9th of July, there could definitely be some significant shifts for you guys around that area. But yeah, in general, the Fool, like I said, usually points to taking chances. So maybe some of you put yourselves out there in some way, whether it be with a creative project that you're working on, or for some of you, maybe making an advance towards someone on a romantic level too. All right, so for the sixth house, which generally points to health, work, and daily routines, we have the sun. So this is definitely good energy to see here. Points to vitality, right? The ability to get things done. And what I'm seeing with this primarily, given that for as far as the zodiac goes, that area of the zodiac is going to be a little quiet as far as the astrology transits go. So to see this here tells me that anything you do need to get done, you will be able to get done. And of course, you could say, oh, well, there's nothing really sparking that energy astrologically speaking, but sometimes it could be good to have some quiet in those areas of life too, right? Because they won't perform a hindrance in anything you're trying to get done. But yeah, this definitely looks like a positive here for sure. And this could point to getting some recognition as well, maybe in the workplace. All right, so for your seventh house energy, which generally points to partnerships, contracts, and relationships, we have the Seven of Swords. So yeah, so taking this in combination with what we were talking about with the Eight of Wands in the third house and the fact that Mercury came up as an indicator in the dice, to me says at the very least, don't rush to sign any new contracts this month. Doesn't necessarily mean that there would be deception at play, right? But just maybe the possibility for misunderstandings, right? Because, like we said, if we take the Eight of Wands at face value, there's usually nothing nefarious there. It's just a lot of communication, right? So sometimes there could be a lot of communication exchanged, and with that, there could be the assumption of clarity, but that might not always be the case. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. I would say more than anything, especially given that Aquarius energy for you guys is related to work, right? So if it's something within the workplace too, I would say you don't need to reject it outright, but definitely try to buy some time so you could really think it over before you sign on the dotted line. All right, so for your eighth house energy, which points to death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments, we have the Eight of Swords. So yeah, so seeing this here could just be saying that actually I get an indicator that what we were just talking about with the Seven of Swords, some of you might already be feeling that energy subconsciously, right? So that could be why we're seeing this Eight of Swords energy here, where subconsciously you might feel like, okay, you know what, this doesn't seem like the right time to make a big move here. I'm going to just hold off a little bit, right? Wait until I get more information, more clarity around the situation. So I do see this as a good indicator that even if something does come across your path that might be a little bit less than ideal, this seems to me that you will be able to take your time and be thorough to make sure that everything lines up. All right. And for your ninth house energy, which points to philosophy, higher learning, and foreign affairs, we have the Three of Wands. So this is an Aries energy here. And for you guys, that is your 12th house. So combining that between what energies and the ninth house mean in general, I would say this card is pointing more to another reason that says that you might not really worry about rushing into any new contracts. And to me, ultimately, this looks like the faith that what's meant for you will come to you, right? So you're not necessarily stressing it. You're not putting undue stress and strain on the situation. You're saying, okay, this doesn't seem right now. I'll try to buy a little time, right? If it's still there when I feel a little bit more sure of it, great, I'll take it. If not, probably wasn't meant for me in the first place, right? All right, so for your 10th house energy, we have the Hangman. And in general, 10th house points to career and social status. And for you guys, that happens to be Aquarius. And we were just talking about how the North Node toward the end of the month will be moving into Aquarius. And then we also have the fact that you have Pluto there as well. It's currently retrograde. So definitely some pretty powerful energies already in your 10th house and on their way to your 10th house as we get later into July. So that could be why you even feel like you're in a bit of a holding pattern, right? Because there are those energetic shifts that are taking place right now. So subconsciously, again, you might feel like, okay, maybe the timing isn't right just yet, but you might feel like something's happening beneath the surface. All right, so for your 11th house of friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes, we have the Four of Cups. So this is Cancerian energy here. And yeah, to me, this says that there could be a level of disappointment, right, with what's going on for you guys in that area of life. So, let's just say if you're tied up with all the work stuff, right, given that we do see the sun in the 6th house, then maybe that means you get to spend less time with your friends, right? So it could be, not necessarily disappointment with them per se, but just the dynamic between you and them. But yeah, for some of you, it could also be that possibly you might feel like they're letting you down in some way. I don't see a ton of indicators of that being likely, although maybe that's Seven of Swords, right? If there's any discussions of partnerships and contracts with friends, then maybe there could be some disappointment there. But yeah, at the very least, this could just be saying that you might not feel a whole lot of fulfillment in that area of life this month. All right, and for the 12th house energy, we have the Two of Wands. So this is more Aries energy here, which actually is a natural fit for you guys in the 12th house, given that that's your natural 12th house ruler. But seeing this here says, yeah, I do feel like beneath the surface, you do feel like something will be changing soon, right? It's almost like you're building up towards something, but you're not ready to jump on it just yet. So yeah, what I'm getting from this spread more than anything is that you seem to be in tune with what's really going on beneath the surface, and this is just kind of more than anything just confirming what you're believing to you right now. All right, so bottom of the deck we have the Five of Wands. So this is Leo energy here, and yeah, more than anything, this could just be saying that the spirit of cooperation might not be working too well this month, right? We spoke about the Eight of Wands and Mercury energy, Mercury retrograde, and all that could be tied to that. Where even if people come in with the right intentions, right, there could still be crossed wires, and then it ends up being counterproductive to try to push anything too far this month. So just be on the lookout for that. All right, lastly, we'll pull an oracle card. So I'm just going to give this a few shuffles, then we'll cut the deck and pull a card. All right, take this card here, get this out of the way, and we'll see what you got. All right, we have Vulture Spirit. Nothing is wasted. There's the artwork, and the number is 63. So yeah, so maybe this is part of what you're feeling beneath the surface as well, right? Where, like we said, you might feel like, if the opportunity doesn't seem right now, and if I wait on it, if I lose the opportunity and the purpose, then that's fine, right? It wasn't meant for me. And then also any bumps in the road you might have gone through to this point as well, you seem to be looking at the positive in those as well. But we'll see what it says in the book. All right. The Oracle message says, what seems hideous has its own beauty, and the recycling and repurposing the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Vulture Spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted, for nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial, and you are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience are talismans that will serve you on your journey wherever you go. What is decaying is only changing form and will fertilize seeds you wish to plant, turning that which has passed away into the substance that will support new growth. All that you might wish to deny or discard has value and can be repurposed and reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life that you are dreaming into being. No pain was in vain, and no experience was wasted, for you have the power to use it to co-create something far better. This is the miracle in your partnership with Spirit. So yeah, it's an interesting message to read there too, because that does remind me of the fact that we pretty much just had Chiron, who was in Aries for quite a few years, recently move into your sign. So some of that could be pointing to those themes as well around healing from past situations that might have been disappointing. But yeah, hopefully that resonated for you guys, and we'll wrap up there. All right, bye.